And today I'm going to be making another video. I'm going to be talking about Arsenal, Red Arrow, whatever you want to call him. And I thought this would be like a good series to do, why I like this character. I did Hawkeye and Kylo Ren, so let's do a DC character. And maybe we'll do other character, maybe just straight up do character histories, because I always like doing those. So, Arsenal, he was, the sidekick of Green Arrow, and, he was more of a Golden Age character until he was more depicted as a darker background of a character, because he didn't really do much, until fans were shocked when he started taking drugs in the comics, and it kind of just shocked people, and then, I think, years later, he'd be in a crossover event, and then he'd lose his arm, and he'd get a robot version of it, and he'd kind of just be on his own, moving past from his days of Oliver Queen, and that's mainly his comic book stuff, and now he's mainly in hanging out with Red Hood and Starfire and the Red Hood and the Outlaws, a comic book series I really like. I'm going to talk about it in a bit. So, that's mainly the history of Red Arrow, and, it's kind of similar to the show Arrow. I think I've talked about the history of it in that one video I made. So, what I like about Arsenal, I just he's always looked cool to me, someone who is just full-on red, with red arrows, red mask, a red costume. It's very stunning. I always felt invested into his story in Arrow. Someone who is a bit of a crook to then go down maybe a gooder path, become a better person in Arrow. But then as he made better choices, because he was under mind control, he would then go on his own for a bit. And he would make a few appearances in Arrow here and there until he got his final appearance in the last season and finishing his arc in the show. And that was very fascinating to me. My issue with that was I just wish we could have saw him more. It's kind of why I don't want to get off topic, but one reason why I'm not really into the Arrowverse is they just love kicking off their characters. Roy, he didn't really appear anymore. And then, in the Flash, Kid Flash he had, this huge, he was, a big deal until he, stopped showing up. I think it was just for the actor reasons, but, that's why, reasons like that, I just don't like seeing characters treated like this. They act like they're gonna have a purpose, but then push them away. Now, you're probably gonna be thinking, oh, you're talking about what you like about this character. Well, I am. And I would love to learn the history of this. I literally even wrote my own homemade comics of this character, because that's how much I liked him. It was fun to do. I love just seeing it. Drawing it, I mean, they're not good in quality. I only got up to 2 issues instead of just started focusing on other comic books I was doing. And it was really fun. I got to explore why Roy quit being on Oliver's path. And it was just fun, as I said. And one scene that really stood out to me for why I like this character even more is when he was able to stand up against the Justice League. You're probably wondering what I mean by that. Okay, if you've never watched the Young Justice show, I couldn't imagine why, because it's an amazing show that I really want to rewatch again. And, so, in one scene, when Roy is excited, he's like, I'm gonna join the Justice League? Oh my goodness, this is amazing. But then he finds out he's just getting all... He's not actually getting a tour of the HQ, and just still a young part of the Teen Titans or whatever. And then his other members are cool with it, but he's not having it. And he gives this speech about his frustration about how their mentors treat them. And he storms off and becomes his own hero. And he gets in this awesome outfit. And now he goes by the name of Red Arrow. And I found out by Nina Mouse Productions later in the show, because I don't really remember much from the show, is that you later find out Roy is a clone of another him who lost his arm, because apparently they love chopping this character's arm off. And it was just always, it just sounds crazy. And it's interesting. That's what I like about it. They were able to make Roy Harper an interesting character that should be explored more. I'd love to see him in his own comics. If you read any Roy Harper appearances in comic books, please tell me. Now I'm going to be talking about, like, Red Hood and the Outlaws. How I discovered it is when my mom literally bought these random comics, Red Hood and the Outlaws, because I wanted to buy the Batman Under the Red Hood movie. You all should see, by the way. And so then on Easter, she just bought me a bunch of these Red Hood and Outlaws. I was just like, you didn't need to buy all this. And then, like, I actually read it, and then I actually got hooked in with the story and the characters. It's like a separate team from, like, the Teen Titans. We got a broodier team, literally, Red Hood and the Outlaws, with Starfire, Red Hood, and Arsenal, Red Arrow. And it was just, we get to see, what I liked about it was we got to see the dynamic between Arsenal and Jason Todd. Whenever you think of Jason Todd, you think of when he got murdered by the Joker and then became Red Hood, but you never really got to see his relationship with other heroes other than Batman or other Batman family members. And it just seemed that maybe he moved on from his days of fighting the Joker. Maybe he's able to step up and rise up. And seeing Roy Harper rise up as well, move on from Oliver. They literally even gave him an issue where, like, he's expressing his feelings towards Oliver, meeting him as the Green Arrow, or just Playboy Oliver. And that was cool. And literally, during one of the comics, Starfire accidentally burns Roy to death. He survives, but it makes Red Hood desperate need to hope he's okay. That felt interesting to me. I just read all these comics. You know what? I feel like I just want to make a video centered on talking about these comics. But, yeah, I mainly talked about my pros for Arsenal and cons. My cons are, he's just not really in many stories. He's not really that explored. He's not the most in-depth DC character, unlike Batman, or just any really DC character who's popular these days. Even like Superman, people would probably say he's dull, but he's still, they try to humanize him. They tried to have humanity in Roy Harper as well, when he struggles trying to get used to his new arm whenever he does lose it in versions. So, yes, I think I've talked about everything I like about Roy Harper. I even made my own Lego of him, besides the Comic-Con one. It's like expensive or whatever, but I'm glad I have it. And so I think I got nothing else to say. By the way, I haven't really been doing videos lately because I've been busy and some things were going on lately with me, so I'll definitely be trying to make as many videos as I can. But hope you liked it, and see you guys next time.